This is John Rodriguez with OnlineMassageTraining.org, and this is Dexter. Today's video is a story about how I discovered massage therapy and eventually neuromuscular therapy. I've told this story a number of times over the years to groups of runners and sometimes a breakfast club, and just found it helps get the story out, and it's helped develop a lot of business. So as you listen to my story, think about your story. How did you find out about massage? What are some interesting things you can tell people that will draw them into your business so you can help them? My story started in the summer of 1985. My sisters came to town for a whirlwind weekend. We had dinners and events and bicycling. So I went to the bike store to get my bicycle tuned up, and the mechanic in the bicycle store had some pictures of himself in something called the Ironman Triathlon. Well, back in 1985, there was no internet. If you wanted to know who won the Ironman, you had to watch the show when it came out once a year. So it was different back then. And I asked him about this thing called a triathlon. He said, you got to swim this much a week, you got to run this much a week, and you got to bike this much a week. So I went from not much working out. 6 weeks later, I did my first triathlon. So guess how it went? Terrible. So it was a 1,000-meter open water swim, followed by a 25-mile bike ride, followed by a 10K run. So the 10K is a little over 6 miles. So I just didn't know what I was doing. Everybody in my age group in the swim just left me behind. I'm just floundering in the lake. And so that was okay. I'm just floundering along. But the next age group came along 5 minutes later. They caught me. And if any of you have ever done an open water competitive swim, it is not friendly. Well, Dexter flew away. He does that. He might be back. So what happened was they just kick you, splash you, push you down. Well, I survived that. And then the next age group came 5 more minutes later. Same thing, kick me, splash me, push me down. Finally got back to the shore, finished that 1,000-meter swim, got on my bike, pedaling as hard as I can to go 13, 14 miles an hour, which is not very fast. And after a while, the race marshal came along, and he was very nice, explaining how to ride the bike a little faster. And I realized he was there because I was shutting down the course, dead last. Anyway, I finished the bike, started the 10K run, and on the run, I actually passed some people. So instead of finishing dead last, there was 403 people. I finished 399 out of 403. So I enjoyed it. I wasn't good at it, but I enjoyed the athletic experience. And after a couple of triathlons, I looked at my stats and I said, well, I'm not a runner. I'm not a good swimmer. I'm not a good biker. I'm a better runner. So 6 months later, I ran my first marathon in January of 1986. And I ran a time of about 4 hours and 10 minutes, which is not terrible. It's kind of middle of the pack, a little over 9-minute pace. And again, I enjoyed it. I wasn't good at it, but I had fun. And then in that spring of 86, I had my first sports injury and my first sports massage. And I met Ann Bond. So Ann was a scholarship athlete and a coach and a massage therapist. And after she fixed my back injury, she said, I know you want to run faster. If you get a regular massage, I'll do your coaching at no charge. I said, okay. Well, Ann recognized something I didn't know. But I did have some talent. So we started working together. Next marathon, 2 hours and 59 minutes. So qualified for Boston Marathon, finished like out of 6,000 runners, I think I was number 138 overall. So, not bad. A lot of fun for those couple of years. And then Ann was the first person to do neuromuscular therapy. So she typically did sports massage, Swedish massage with lotion. And one Sunday, I remember it clearly because Ann was doing the regular sports massage and she found some extra tightness in my leg, and she leaned in to my hamstring, and it wasn't like the feel-good massage, it was more assertive. And I remember lying on the table thinking, ow. Well, of course I didn't say anything. The next day though, I did my track work, and Ann had my schedule. and I ran so much faster than the schedule. I called in, I said, I don't know what you did yesterday, but I ran fast. So that was my first introduction to neuromuscular therapy. I still didn't think of it as a business back in those days, but then a year later I had a foot injury, tied my shoelaces too tight on a 20-mile run before the marathon. Still had a very good race. I ran a personal best even with the injury, but after that my foot hurt so bad it was hard to run more than 15 minutes, and that's not very much for a marathon runner. So foot doctor treated my foot for months and months, never got better. Finally, a running friend reminded me of neuromuscular. She said, John, the pain is in your shoelace area, but it's coming from those muscles in your shin right below your knee. So I got some neuromuscular therapy. This was in 1988. Within 1 month, I finished second place in a race. So I was very impressed with the results of this type of therapy. And a big key for me, as I mentioned in my other videos, is with the neuromuscular, people leave on comfortable clothes. So like running shorts, t-shirt, and so they don't have to take their clothes off and rub them down with oil. So I was attracted to that as a business. So I started training in October of 1988, and then got my license in 89, and of course now all these years later, here we are. So that's my story. I tell that as I introduce what I do, and then when we actually do the kind of the full presentation, we bring some pictures, large pictures of muscles so people can get a concept. But think about your story. You know, how do you get involved in massage? And if you decide to train with us and learn our neuromuscular techniques, there's Dexter. Hi Dexter, over here, come on. Well, he just does what he does. He's a bird. Come on Dexter, get in the picture. There we go, he's back. So anyways, so think about your situation. How did you find out about massage? If you learn our techniques, what attracted you to learn these neuromuscular techniques? And then you can create your own story to share with people and then build your own business. John Rodriguez, OnlineMassageTraining.org, and Dexter's around here somewhere. Anyway, have a great day.